This is just a sample of the audiobook. To get the complete audiobook, access the link posted in the first comment.
The forced march from the lower fords toward Stone Bridge only made the South Carolinian more irritable. Conducted at a frenetic pace for nearly 4 miles over almost every imaginable feature of terrain, it was a hellish ordeal, especially for those afoot. James G. Hudson of Company D, 4th Alabama Infantry, which led B's column, described the march as, "in a northwesterly direction through pine thickets and cedar hammocks, over ditches, gullies, briar patches, fences, swamps, hills, and valleys, at about half double quick." Another Alabamian wrote, "We did not stop even for fences, but when we came to one, we would with one shove level it with the ground, and on we'd go." The movement ended with B's men much exhausted at the summit of Henry Hill, east of Mrs. Henry's home. B now realized that he was going to see a great deal more fighting this morning than he had expected. While the infantry sought shelter behind one of the plateau's many rolling hills, the 4 smooth-bore 6-pounders of the Staunton artillery went into battery about 150 yards north of the widow's abode. Just before they deployed, B told Captain Imboden, "Here is the battlefield, and we are in for it." Soon Imboden's cannons were firing across the turnpike at the Federals on Matthews Hill. As the only artillery unit on Henry Hill just then, the battery might have made an inviting target. For its deliverance from utter destruction, Imboden credited B. The sharp-eyed brigadier had assigned it a position where it was "sheltered by a swell in the ground, to our front, 5 or 6 feet high." As far as he was from the scene of the struggle on Matthews Hill, B could be of only so much help to his fellow South Carolinian. Afforded a full view of the fighting to the north, he could see that Evans, his front and flanks under increasing pressure, would be forced to give up his position sooner rather than later. Evans did not agree. When B sent a courier to bring word of his arrival on the high ground, Evans petitioned him to cross Young's branch and join him in fending off the Yankees. Believing his own position more defensible, B advised Evans to disengage and withdraw to the plateau. The hard-pressed major would have none of it. As Beauregard wrote after the war, "Evans, full of the spirit that would not retreat, renewed his appeal that the forces in rear would come to help him hold his ground." Against his better judgment, B ordered the 4th Alabama of Colonel Egbert Jones to hasten to Evans's position, which it was to expand and secure. The regiment descended Henry Hill and, under fire from the Union batteries on Matthews Hill, crossed the turnpike above the stone house. Beyond the pike, the Alabamians climbed Buck Hill and dashed under a hail of rifle and artillery fire toward the exposed right flank of Evans's line. Imboden's smoothbores covered the movement with a steady barrage of long-range ammunition. The regiment was further assisted by a single 6-pounder that had accompanied the regiment from Henry Hill. According to Captain Thomas Goldsby, the little gun did much to divert the attention of the enemy from our advance movement. Even in that hour of peril, we could not fail to admire the accuracy and effect of its aim. Upon reaching Matthews Hill, the newcomers spread out to extend Evans's line to the north and east. They took up a position to the right of the copse of trees that sheltered Sloan's 4th South Carolina, within 100 yards of the main Union line. Under fire from Reynolds' battery, many Alabamians took cover behind a fence line that bordered a field of tall corn, but it offered almost no protection. In time, the 4th would be joined by the rest of B's brigade and one of Bartow's regiments, but for what must have seemed a lifetime, the outfit faced enemy bullets and shells virtually alone. "Our brave men fell in great numbers," wrote Captain Goldsby, "but they died as the brave love to die, with faces to the foe, fighting in the holy cause of liberty." The 4th was fated to absorb a casualty rate of almost 40%, the highest of any regiment, Union or Confederate, on this field.